Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. Today we will be talking about angle relationships in intersecting parallel lines. So if we look at this is what these kinds of questions would bring up. So it will show two parallel lines, and then we'll have one intersecting line in the middle. So a line intersecting these two parallel lines. And this line right here is called the transversal. And this line is the line that is intersecting these two parallel lines right here. These are the parallel lines because they will never touch each other. And what we're going to learn here is the special angle relationships with this transversal. So like all these angles right here. Alright, so the first thing we want to know is what vertical angles are and what adjacent angles are. So vertical angles are the angles like on the opposite side of each other. So for example, this angle right here is vertical with this angle because that's the angle that's opposite. And it also has to be on the same line. So for example, if we move to the side and we draw a new set of lines, we can draw this line and this line. They're the same line. And so these two would be vertical angles, and so would these two on the other side too. They're the same lines. This is the line and this is the line. That also means that the angles would be congruent. So this angle right here is congruent with this angle right here. And then this angle right here is congruent to this angle right here. So then these two angles would equal each other. So adjacent angles are angles next to each other. So we can say, for example, this angle down here with this angle, they're right next to each other. So they're adjacent. But adjacent angles can be any kind. So like we can have this. We don't know the measurement there, but the two angles inside are adjacent because they are right next to each other. That is what adjacent and vertical angles are. Now back to the transversal. So we just learned about vertical and adjacent angles, and that's gonna further help you when you're learning the kinds of angles on a transversal. So these have a few different kinds of angles that you need to know because it will help you figure out the missing measurements. So here we got the corresponding angles. This is the first one. So corresponding angles are the angles that are basically on the line of the parallel lines, and like they're on the same place. So example, we have this line down here, right? The first angle is on top and on the right, on the left side, and same goes with the top parallel line. So that's what a corresponding angle is. And so corresponding angles are congruent. So they equal each other because of the transversal cutting the parallel lines, basically the same angle. So the next one we have are alternate interior angles. So there are two kinds here. We have interior and then exterior. So interior is the inside of the parallel lines. So here we're talking about the parallel lines. So interior is inside of the parallel lines. And alternate is supposed to mean on different sides of the transversal. So the first word corresponds to the transversal right here. And then the second word corresponds to the parallel line. So that means here's the interior one would be, let's say, this angle. And so the alternate and also in the interior, in the inside of the parallel lines is this angle right here. And as you can tell, they're congruent because, again, if we think about adjacent and vertical angles, this angle right here would be corresponding to this angle right here, and which is the vertical angle to this angle. So that's proof, basically, that alternate interior exterior angles are congruent. And then we also have the alternate exterior, which again, so exterior can be red. And the last one we have is the consecutive interior and exterior. So if you don't know, consecutive means same side. So you can also call the same side interior, exterior. But consecutive is more like, more schooly, whatever you call it, more advanced. That's the word. So same side. So basically, it's the same thing as alternating interior and exterior angles, but the angles have to be on the same side of the transversal. So we can have this angle right here for interior, and then this angle right here. So yeah, not sure how to do that. We can do that. Yeah. And then in exterior, you can do this angle right here, and then this angle out here. Yes. And then consecutive interior angles are the different kinds where, because they're on the same side, and inside or outside, they would equal to 180. Because going back to adjacent angles, this angle right here, if we look at that angle right here, that would be a corresponding angle to this angle right here, and which that angle is adjacent to that. So it would equal 180 because these are parallel lines and the transversal is intersecting the parallel lines, which makes it 180. So that is the video on transversals, and right here is basically what they would be. Also, the equal sign means congruent. That is basically the angles of a transversal and how you can solve for missing angles.